I know you're someone who reviews your numbers monthly as well, right? Do you have your goal on your monthly numbers or put anything in place just to remind yourself of where you're trying to get to?
Completely. Like it is the entire outcome that I'm going for. Like, the one thing that my wife and I repeated to each other consistently, and actually I've spoken to you about it quite a lot, is over the last couple of years of the growth that some of the properties that we have had has always been repeated, which is this is not normal. This is not normal. I need to understand that these interest rates are not normal. I need to understand that this property growth is not normal. These yields are not normal. Like this is just not the norm. This is just where we're at in the portfolio, because it meant that as times have changed, as they have, properties have changed, I'm like, this seems more normal now. Like this seems to be what it has been over the last 50 years outside of the peaks and troughs. And so I was so mentally prepared for going, hey, like this is where we're at and no worries at all. Like I'll take the wins as they come, but I'm not banking on them. And so aligning it to our cash flow goal as well as our net wealth goal, it literally sits in the same tracker of all of our properties, but also as we track the increases every single month, I have a good benchmark of like, this is just not normal. Like I'm not going to get 10% returns every single year. That's just odd.
I do like that, and I think it's something I could improve upon in my own setup. When I was working up to financial independence, I do think I was much better at tracking and aligning to that goal. I think one of the things that as I crossed that goal and hadn't necessarily set a new goal, the temptation of short-term things has definitely been creeping into my world. So like having a goal and a target, I think is crucial. Having a way to remind yourself of that goal and target and realign yourself to it, I think is crucial as well, which you're doing an excellent job of. One of the things I'll say that's really made me think about this differently in more recent times is actually Jack, right? I'm thinking about what assets I may potentially want to pass down to him or how to set him up. And I've found that type of layering has been really good for my long-term thinking as well, like really good. So the reminder of that has become more interesting. Can I share a quick funny Charlie Munger quote as well?
Yeah.
I saw heard him referenced of the idea of, do you think passing money down to your kids will ruin them? And he's like, yes, but if I don't do it, they'll hate me. I was like, well, there goes that one, right?
Well, there you go. Sure. It's like, I love that idea. But it's, I think to wrap it all up, the difficult layer is understanding when to apply the short-term approach in order to unlock a long-term results versus everything is the short-term. Like the obsession around this 12-month results just seems to be trumping the idea of property as a long-term game. Like it doesn't matter.
I think I can simplify it. Go short-term on deposits and servicing. Right? Yep. If there's things you can do to enhance your ability to come up with a deposit in the short term, right? I think do it, because if you take that and turn it into a long-term thing, so you're going to go work your ass off for 12 months, drive Uber, reduce your costs, all of it, and that gets you the deposit to buy a really great long-term asset. Well, now you've just compounded your efforts, right? You've taken the efforts you've spent 12 months on, where you've turned that into now what will be a compounding long-term result. I'm like, tick of approval. What I don't like is when people do things like they're going to go really hard for 12 months to create a result, to then go really hard in the next 12 months to create the same result, and they're not building that compound nature. So if you're, going to go really hard in developing a duplex in an area or whatever it is, and then it's only got a short window where it gets this 30% growth, you've got to sell it and then you've got to repeat the process. I don't necessarily think those types of strategies are great in property. I think there's better opportunities elsewhere, in all honesty. And I know someone out there right now is going to be sitting there going, yeah, but you made 30% on the build, right? But you had capital tied up in a short-term opportunity, right? And that's what I think people are forgetting, is that if you're doing developments, well, then your capital is tied up in that. You're not betting on long-term assets there. You're actually missed out on that opportunity, and that's where the trade-off is. Now, unless you have ridiculously huge funds, or you're at the later stage of your journey, or a different stage where you can diversify at that level, it just seems silly to me. For the investor that is not yet financially independent, my view and opinion, learn how to talk, Charlie, is get very focused on the income and deposits, buy quality assets you can play a long-term compounded game on, and then time will be your friend in hitting this in a much more, I'm going to say it's going to be a faster approach than you may think because you've taken it than trying to hunt out these quick, short-term dopamine hit media cycle strategies.
All right, fellow property investor, if you loved the value from this short video and wanted to know more about how you can win at property investing, check out the full episode by clicking the link on your screen or in the description right now. Alternatively, click subscribe and you'll never miss another one of these videos.